Katie, I know you need that to give you some kind of high ground that this is being taken too far, but this is on you. He doesn't apologize. He doesn't contextualize it. He doesn't say anything is wrong that he ever does, and then you're surprised that people come at him and to say that it's overreaction.
It's racist against Trump to say he's a lion costume. I mean, this doesn't make any sense.
No, but your rationale, your analogy makes no sense. I'm not saying he's a racist. I'm saying
it is an unforced error, but that's very different than being vindictive about it and doing it on purpose. It is an unforced error.
Well, what
it's
good?
very
Give me a
different
good
than
reason.
Purposely clipping it to show that.
Well, first of all, it was absolutely purposely clipped to show the Obama part. It was just part of a much bigger video. That's not the beginning. Well, it's not the beginning of the video.
It was an automatic. To call him a racist or to imply that he is one based on that video is very disingenuous and lacking context.
Well, too bad.
So, I don't know. A lot of you guys probably don't even tune into News Nation a lot of the time. And neither do I, to be honest. But I do like to see if there's any clips that are worthwhile, to see if there's any back and forths, any debates that are worth taking a look at. Now, there's this little bit of a rivalry that I can see developing between Chris Cuomo and I think her name's Katie Pavlich. Katie Pavlich, sorry, that are both News Nation hosts. And in this one, they get into quite a bit of a heated exchange on Donald Trump's racist post that he put out about the Obamas, in which Katie Pavlich tries to justify and try to defend and downplay it. And Chris Cuomo is having absolutely none of it. As usual, let's watch the clip in full. I may sprinkle my perspective throughout, but I'm going to give it you majority towards the end. Let's get into it.
Let's discuss the state of play. Host of Katie Pavlich tonight, Katie herself. Good to have you. Happy Friday.
Hey, Chris. Thank you for having me. Good to see you. Happy Friday.
What does this mean? Not so much the monkey business. What does this intense messaging that the elections were rigged mean about the disposition towards the midterms for the administration?
Well, first, I think it's really important to point out that the outrage over the depiction at the end of a scroll video, which then automatically went to another video, was not vindictive in nature. Was it a mistake? Yes. Did it cause a problem for the White House all day today? Yes. Is the president upset about it? And there's new reporting out tonight that there are a number of White House staffers who are upset that this occurred because of the narrative all day was not on the fact that last night President Trump announced Trump RX, which means that medication prices are going to go down for Americans because Europeans now are going to pay their fair share when it comes to investment in drugs and the ROD that comes into the research of those drugs. We're not going to be subsidizing Europeans anymore for our medication. They're not talking about the Dow that hit an all-time high today. They had that press conference from the Department of Justice about Benghazi, exactly, where they brought justice after 14 years for 4 Americans who were killed in that attack. And so, yes, it was not handled the best way. They should have immediately investigated it and realized that it was an automatic scroll into a video, which, as you did play, depicted a number of people and animals. Is it silly? Yes. But was it vindictive, and does it classify the president of the United States as a racist? No. And I think if you look at his policies, people in his cabinet, the people who visited the White House, including Nicki Minaj recently, to call him a racist or to imply that he is one based on that video is very disingenuous and lacking context.
Well, too bad. Because let me tell you something. If you don't want somebody to call you that, then you don't do things like this. He didn't show Biden and everybody else. They just showed the Obama part. So it doesn't matter what it clicks and scrolls to.
But they didn't do it on purpose,
This is an unforced
Chris, which
error.
is the issue. It is an unforced error, but that's very different than being vindictive about it and doing it on purpose. It is an unforced error.
Well, what good? Give me a good reason.
Purposely clipping it to show that.
Well, first of all, it was absolutely purposely clipped to show the Obama part. It was just part of a much bigger video. That's not the beginning. Well, it's not the beginning of the video.
It was an automatic scroll.
It's not the first thing you would see.
It was an automatic.
But this is the question that I've been asking. If it was an automatic scroll, okay, no problem. But if it's an automatic scroll, would it not have then scrolled and been from the start of the video? Unless it was already watched previously and then it was moved back to just as it's about to move onto the Obamas being depicted as monkeys, and then the person scrolled back up again, watched that one in full, and then when it auto-played down, it continued off where it left off, which would mean the person that posted that, they knew what they were doing.
Right, because it's the end of the video, which automatically scrolled into the next video. That's what happened.
Oh, no, I know. I understand how buffering and queuing works. What I'm saying is somebody made a choice.
It was a vindictive portrayal of the Obamas.
You call it what you want.
And what happened...
Let me tell you something. If I do something like that, if I did that, first of all, I'd probably get fired. But if I did that, guess what people would call me? A bigot. You know why? That's a bigoted thing to put out. That's why. And we both know it.
I agree, Chris. I agree with you that if they purposely only clipped this portion on purpose, it would be bigoted. It would be disgusting. But they didn't purposely clip this portion on purpose. It was part of another video that got scrolled into automatically after they were portraying the other video, which is the one they were clipping for the feed. They didn't watch it all the way to the end. So there's a difference between vindictively clipping a video to show the Obamas this way, which is not what happened. It was an automatic scroll to a video which depicts a whole bunch of other politicians in these ridiculous animal costumes. Is that silly politics? Yes, but to argue it was done because President Trump is a racist and to portray the Obamas this way.
But I just want to say, the fact that other politicians were depicted as animals, it doesn't matter. Anybody with a little bit of common sense would know that black people have been depicted as apes, as a racist trope for how many years? Everybody knows that. Putting a white face on an ape's body is not going to be the same as putting a black face on an ape's body, because it naturally links back to black people being referred to as monkeys and apes, which in of itself is a bigoted thing to say, but it's fundamentally racist. So I don't understand the standpoint that she's trying to make here. I don't get it.
I'm not arguing that he is a racist. I'm not saying he's a racist. Listen, Katie, words matter. Context matters, as you say. You want the defense of it, use it as a sword and a shield. So if you do something like this, this is a racist thing to do. It doesn't mean you're a racist necessarily, but what you did invites the racism, okay? And what's more important is, you know what I do if I did this by mistake? You know what you do if you did this by mistake? You say, I'm sorry. That's what you say, because you are mortified. You are mortified. Not him. Not him. I did nothing wrong. I have nothing to apologize for. I don't care if you're offended. And then Katie, and then Levitt comes out there, bloodlessly and says, oh, this is all on you, fake outrage. Senator Tim Scott didn't think that. Is he a dope?
Well, Chris, the best thing for them to do was to say, this was a mistake. This was not done on purpose. Here's the full video that was scrolled into the previous video that was being posted by a staffer on the president's True Social account. That's not what they did. And then it caused a problem for them all day long. But again, I'm very glad you just showed the full context of the video, which portrays a number of politicians in animal costumes. So not sure how you can make the case that it was only racist against 2 people portrayed in the video and not the rest of them portrayed in the video.
Okay, if you want it to be disgusting and prejudicial towards everybody, I'll concede the point. Let me ask you something else.
It's racist against Trump to say he's a lion costume? I mean, this doesn't make any sense.
No, but your rationale, your analogy makes no sense. Again, this is a very simple fact.
Your analogy makes no sense.
You took... Oh,
so you're calling it racist. You're saying it's a racist fact pattern? Where's the fact pattern?
No, look, Katie, I know you need that. Katie, I know you need that to give you some kind of high ground that this is being taken too far, but this is on you. He doesn't apologize. He doesn't contextualize it. He doesn't say anything is wrong that he ever does, and then you're surprised that people come at him and to say that it's overreaction? It's nonsense. It's political malpractice in the main.
I'm actually not surprised at all.
It's mean-spirited. It's dark. And it's ugly, and everybody knows it. Let's move on.
I'm not surprised at all that this happened today. I said that. I said they should have done it better from the beginning. I'm not surprised there was outrage.
Well, they left it up for 12 hours.
It wasn't done vindictively.
Look, Katie, all I'm saying is you can say that. I don't know that. If you know how it happened, okay, great. But all I'm saying is this. When you're explaining you're losing in politics, and there were a lot of other things they could be talking about.
I agree.
The specific one is health care.
I'm going to leave it there. I will leave the link in the description to the full exchange so you can listen to the next part about healthcare, because that's not what it is, that I wanted to cover in this. But is she just being stupid or something? Like her saying, oh, depicting Donald Trump as a lion, is that racist? I'm sorry, when people do things like these, I don't like to just throw things out there like, oh, he's a racist, she's a racist. I don't like to do that sort of thing. And the reason as to why is because when you just throw around the term racist, when there is an actual racist, it takes away the actual true depth and meaning of it. So I don't like to do that sort of stuff. But when I see that somebody is in front of me trying to play in my face the same way that it is that Katie Pavlich is doing in this exchange with Chris Cuomo, I feel like she's just trying to take the, excuse my French, this is something that we say here in England, I feel like she's just trying to take the piss out of me. That's exactly what it is. I just feel like she's just trying to take the piss. Because anyone with common sense knows you don't depict black people as monkeys unless you are a racist and a bigot. Because you know what's going to be the repercussion of that. And you see, the kind of smugness that it is that she has, the kind of thinking and acting like she knows everything and she knows better than everybody else. I genuinely hope to God and I pray all of my American audience, please make sure in the midterms coming up in November, I think it is, make sure you make people like her pay. Make sure it is a bloodbath at the voting booth. Okay? I don't mean that like literally as in a bloodbath. No, I mean that at the voting booth. Okay? Make sure you make these people pay, because I'm not sure what it is that this administration think they're what they're doing. Do they believe that they can just do whatever it is that they want, say whatever it is that they want, and people are still going to vote for them? I know Donald Trump thinks that, but I already know that Donald Trump mentally isn't well. But do the rest of them understand this? The position that it is that they're taking on this, when you take a look at what they've done to the Latino community in terms of ICE and deportations, you now have the president of the United States posting out a video that is racist to America's one and only president, black president and black first lady. What do these guys think is going to happen to them at the polls? Like, I'm just so confused. I'm just so confused, but I shouldn't be. And this is the thing, in the time that it is that I've had this channel up and running, I've come to understand and I've come to learn that there is no line that people like Katie will draw in the sand for Donald Trump. The fact that he didn't even apologize for posting a racist post, that's not even a line where she draws. That's not even a point where she draws the line in the sand. She's still willing to come out and try and defend Donald Trump for this. But as I consistently and always say on this channel, you can't defend the indefensible. But you best believe that these people, MAGA, this cult, they will try. Let me know your guys' thoughts about this exchange between Chris Cuomo and Katie Pavlich in the comment section below. While you're down there, hit the thumbs up button. And if you're interested in clips like this and you want to hear a perspective from an outsider who's looking in, that lives over the pond in the in the UK, do me a favor and drop me a subscribe. And also turn on the bell notification. Help me to be able to get to 100,000 subscribers. Appreciate you guys. And I will see you guys in the next clip.